I like to talk about 10 things black women need to know to exist in a long-term relationship. So I'm coming at this from the point of view that, like if I'm talking to my daughter, right? Um, I have a son, you know. I'm a boy maker. My father's a boy maker. So I make, and, I learned in Jamaica where they say that the dominant person in the relationship, the Rasta told me, I've heard it repeated, you know, uh, that the dominant person in the relationship dictates what the sex of the child is, right? And we know, like in a relationship, there's ups and downs. So sometimes a woman might be dominant, and if she gets pregnant at that time, you can have a girl. But if the man is, dominant at the time of the conception, then it's gonna be a boy. And so now I see how, my father had all boys, you know what I mean? And I have all boys. I'm lucky to, have, they probably what they would call in the States a stepdaughter, but I don't like to say stepdaughter because stepdaughters have a negative connotation. But my son has a sister, you know, and so I'm approaching this like I'm talking to her and giving her advice, and or when I have daughter, a daughter, my daughters, But I know I'm a boy maker. I'm so out, so alpha, you know, that I probably have all boys. But I was to tell her the 10 things that she need to know to have a healthy relationship, and in preparing her to be a wife. The number one thing I would tell her is to have respect. Gotta have respect. It's number one, and that's what we learn in Islam is respect, and specifically in the 5% nation, respect is number one. Knowledge is number one, and what knowledge consists of is to know, look, listen, and observe. Knowledge is to respect. Right? And knowledge is symbolic to the black man. Knowledge is the foundation of all living things. Knowledge is the light that shines, such as the light from the sun. So that's why the 5% of the nation we call the black man, the son. Like, yo, what up, son? Peace, son. We're not saying S-O-N, we're saying S-U-N. So anyway, that's knowledge. Knowledge is number one, and knowledge consists of know, look, listen, observe, respect. Right? And it represents the man, the black man. Wisdom is number two. Right? And number two is wisdom. Right? Wisdom is wise words spoken by wise men. And wisdom is the manifestation of knowledge. Wisdom is secondary but necessary. Wisdom represents the woman or the earth. Right? Remember I said the sun shines like knowledge is light that shines from the sun. Wisdom is a manifestation or the practice, the doing of knowledge. Right? So then once we do the knowledge and we practice it, we can see it in our mind, which is our third eye. So it's comprehension. The third eye represents the child. Alright? Understanding is the best part. understanding it's the black child. Right? So there's 1, 2, 3. The man, black man, the black woman, and the black child. Those are the 3 things that is most important to keep civilization going, a culture going. So what happens is respect has to be number 1. Number 2, I would tell my daughter, know this. A man will sleep with anybody or anything. Some men will even sleep with another man to bust a nut. Right? But just because a man want to have sex with you or giving you attention does not mean that he likes you or loves you. It's just he wants to get his rocks off. So men don't take sex personally. Women do. So just because a man likes you does not mean that he means you any good. Or a male, you know. It means he wants to bust a nut. Simple as that. So don't feel special because a man is giving you attention. And what happens is, you know, our women learn this too late. When it's too late. And they've been played out. And used and abused. Which goes into number 3. No man wants a whore. Or as they say nowadays, a 304. Nobody. No man wants to deal with a whore. Right? Men are territorial. Right? This is my territory. This is my casa. Mi casa. Yeah? No man wants to come behind another man. No man wants a woman who is entertaining other men. But some of the foolish young males, some of the foolish young bulls, they might put up with that because they think that they're going to change her. And we know that she's not going to change. You know, so no woman wants to be with no man wants to be with a woman that has to be, you know, a 304. Simple as that. There's no, you can't change nature. That's how we were created, right? And it might sound double standard and all that, but a man gives and a woman takes. So from that point of view, I'm talking about sexually, you know, with masculine energy, you know, like a woman is receiving and a man is giving, right? So it's not personal for a man. Our sexual organs are on the outside. A woman's sexual organs are on the inside. So anyway, we want to be cognizant of that. So number 4 is don't deal with a man that's dishonest. If honesty is important to you. And I would advise, you know, my daughter, you know, don't deal with a dishonest man. Because you never have peace. And I've dealt with that on the other side, you know, when I'm talking to the young men. Don't deal with, you know, just don't deal with dishonest people, you know. But I'll leave that there. That's self-explanatory. Don't deal with the man who's a mama's boy. If you deal with a man who's a mama's boy, the mama is always going to have more input than is necessary. You understand what I'm saying? She's the one who shaped his mind. So he's not he exists in his feminine, and not in his femininity. He has built femininity into his his circumference and his surroundings. You know, a mama's boy is emotional and deals with feelings. You know, man, like we can, you know, like we have feelings, but we have to rise above our feelings and deal with the brain. The feeling, it comes inside the heart, the solar plexus, the tummy. You know what I mean? But we have to rise above that and deal with the mind and think about it, think logically. So a lot of males, especially competitive males, prideful males, they're emotional. They deal with emotion. You know what I mean? They like to get the pat on the back and the reassurance from mommy. You know what I mean? You know, man got to step out on his own sometimes. It's like a pride of lion. You know what I mean? You got the male, the dominant male. I mean, he good. He can walk, by himself. You know what I mean? But the lionesses and everything, they, usually accompanied by a friend. You know, it's like that with humans as well. You know what I mean? The male is one. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like number one on top of the hill. So we have to be able to move accordingly. But the advice we get from, like the advice I got from my father is completely different than the advice that I've got from my mother. And I listen to my mother out of respect. You know what I mean? I'll do what she say. Just okay, ma, I got you. You know what I mean? But my father, like, he'll break it down in a way where it's like, okay, I see the wisdom in that. And so I just say that, that's number 4. Never deal with dealing with a mama's boy could be different. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I mean? She's guiding him, telling him, gossiping, causing trouble. You know what I mean? Not trouble, but drama and all of that. Like, you know what I mean? Men, like, a man is drama free. And one thing, like I said, I listen to people who know, and one sector of people that know about women is pimps. And one thing a pimp would tell you is that you have the woman focus on the left hand while you're dealing with the right hand. So she's doing this and the drama and all of that, and it's like you don't care about all of that, but you will entertain that just to keep her in the left hand while you're focused on the right hand. And you don't let her get into that right hand. Don't let her know what's going into that right hand, because she get into that right hand, she's going to cause drama in that right hand. So you just have her focus on the left hand while you're focused on the right hand. And then, that'll save drama and stress in your life. I tell my daughter to have married mentors. Someone who's been in a long marriage has their advice to a woman about dealing with a man is going to be different than a single woman or a single mama. You know what I'm saying? Because the fact that someone is a single parent means that they come from a failed relationship, man or woman. So we got trauma. You understand what I'm saying? So you're dealing with. So now you're not dealing with her best. You know what I mean? You're dealing with someone who has been rejected most times. You know what I mean? Or didn't have the capability of sustaining a relationship. So, we become damaged, and then we take that damage, if it's not repaired, into other relationships. I would tell my daughter to listen, and listen to learn, listen to hear, listen to gain some understanding, not listening to respond. If if we practice not saying anything, that's what I'm learning now. And like I said, I study millionaires and billionaires and people that's successful in business. And one thing that I've been noticing lately is, they always say, listen. You have to listen. You have to listen to your consumer. You have to listen to your market. You can't dictate to your market. You have to listen to what their needs are and satisfy that. And those are the traits of a leader, right? A leader is a servant to the people that he's leading. So he has to listen to them, their wants and desires, so that he can lead them to the group into that. You know? So we all have to listen to learn, listen to understand, and not be necessary in response. So now I'm working on not responding, just listening. Sometimes people say something and they don't really want a response. They just want to let it go. You know what I mean? They just want to let it out. So we have to be receptive of that. Number 8 is have confidence. And, true confidence, not the boss bitch confidence where like you got the mask on, the hair on, the makeup on, and the nails on, you got the whole vibe and all of that. No. Confidence in yourself, who you were created to be. Right? Because, we as black people, we like styles. We follow styles. A lot of us are slaves to fashion and, the end thing. But men don't like that. So if you're looking for a long term, like a man, like I said, a man to hit anything. And he say, yeah, I do like that. But deep down inside, if he's a man, he wants a woman that like if we're on vacation and we can go into the sea and you're not scared to get your hair messed up. And we love the afro. We love kinky hair. I love short hair. I don't like long hair. You know what I mean? To me, it's a turn off. I don't like that. You know what I mean? I don't like the Latina, like skin, red lips, long black hair. You know what I mean? I love black women with full lips, dark skin, natural. Take a shower, we can jump in the car and be out. You know what I mean? That's just my preference, but that's most men's preference. You know what I mean? And so what happens is, a lot of the women are training their boys to be attracted to the long hair and all of that, because they're sending the signal to the young boy that's what makes them So, I didn't put my phone on Do Not Disturb, so I got a phone call that affected it. So have confidence, you know what I mean? Have confidence in yourself. Number 9 is be loyal. Be loyal. You know how you are with your girlfriends? Be that to your man. Because, the thing about relationships is that, the thing about relationship is that men, sometimes everybody knows how a person is except their mate. What? No. So you can come get the eggs. All right, we got cut off, but to be loyal, it's important for us to be loyal. And it's number 9. And what I mean by being loyal is that a lot of times in relationships, people are honest to everybody except their boyfriend or girlfriend. So everybody knows the truth except their husband, their girl, their lady. And so that's what people get upset about, because they feel like they're being made a fool of. And no one wants to be made a fool of. And that's why it's so important for number 10. Honesty. have to be honest for a long-lasting, happy relationship. Simple as that. Simple as that. Have to be honest.
P Funk City G.